of the downloads. We're holding on page Yud Gimel, if I'm correct. Anybody, if I get this wrong, please let me know. But I think we're holding on page Yud Gimel, Ois Hey. And we were talking about what is the idea of Makim by Hashem. What's the concept of saying that the Makim is bottled to Hashem? And to explain that, the Maimer was going into the idea of two meanings in the word makim. Makim could mean that which surrounds the place. Makim could mean the actual air space that the thing takes up. Beruchnius, that means the difference between a maluk kalam and soiv kalam. Soiv kalam is the eagle agadol that surrounds all possible place. The maluk kalam is the level that is the space that the worlds are in. And the chiddush is that even the place of the world, even the existence of the world, that may seem like something separate from Hashem, even that is also bottle and tuffle to Hashem, and as well as the source of makim. It says, L'cha Hashem magdula v'agvura v'teferes v'hanetz v'ahoid, to you, that the midas alyonis, the six midas, they are the six ksavas, they are the six edges of all existence. Spiritually, they are the source of makim, of place down here physically. They are bottled to Hashem, and it's similar to where it says Hashem echad in Shema instead of saying Hashem yachid, because the chiddush is that even where there is the ches zayin rakim ba'aretz, and even where there's the dalid, the four sides of the world, still over there it's a level of alf. Now, this entire point was brought in to explain how can a taka be afki abayis hazeh. How is it possible that Hashem's very essence, the infinite, can come down into the physical Beis Hamikdash? So now we're going to explain something about the place, the makom of the Beis Hamikdash. Line 17, page Yud Gimel, the 9th page of the printouts. This this what the Medrash says, that my place is nullified to me. That we said, seemingly, what chiddush is it to say that hine makim ite, the place is with me, that the place is nullified to the Eibishter? What's the chiddush about it? So we're saying this idea, this chiddush is that, like we said before, even the world that seems to be a metzias is also really bottled. So Haya Begoli Beis Hamikdash, this was revealed in the Beis Hamikdash, and also, like he said before, Uba Mishkan Dikrim Mikdash. Also in the Mishkan, in the Midbar, the Mishkan was also called Mikdash, like it says in the Pasuk, Va'asuli Mikdash v'shachanti b'soicham. When Hashem told the Yidden, make for me a Mikdash, and I shall dwell amongst them. That's the beginning of Parshas Truma, where he's giving them instructions on building the Mishkan. So we see the Mishkan is also called the Mikdash, and therefore the Mishkan also has this quality of Asari Tfeilali, even more so than the rest of the world. It was revealed, as opposed to the rest of the world, it wasn't revealed. So the question is, what was the revelation of it? Shesham, in the Beis Hamikdash and the Mishkan, Hayam Makim Bottle Betachlis Lalakus, the place was completely nullified, sublimated to gardens. Like the statement of our Chazal concerning the Kodesh Kadoshim, that the place, the actual space of the Aron was not measured, was not able to be measured. Though the length of the Aron was 2.5 amas, the width of the Aron was 1.5 amas, and its height was 1.5 amas. Still in all, they would measure 10 in the Kodesh Kadoshim in the Beis Hamikdash. you could measure the location of the Beis Hamikdash, and you would not find it taking away the 10 amas of the each side of the Kodesh HaKadoshim. That it should have been decreased from the Aron to the walls. It should have been decreased by the amount that the Aron took up, and it didn't. Because top of page Yudal, the Makim itself, the place, the location of the Aron, the place of the Beis Hamikdash, was completely nullified to higher than place. And that was, even though that's true in the whole world, but that was Begoli, was revealed in the Beis Hamikdash. Now we can understand the answer to the original question: how was it possible that the Eibishter should reside in Bayis Hazeh, in the Beis Hamikdash? With this, the question passes and is removed. How is it possible that in a limited place should reside the infinite light of the Eibishter that has no boundaries? Because the place of the boundaries, the place of our world, the physical place, was completely nullified to the unbounded, to the infinite. Till the bounded place, till the limited place itself became higher than Gvul. Therefore, it was possible to be in the residing of the infinite light that had no boundary. This revelation was primarily in the Beis Hamikdash. Like we said, that even though the entire world, we say, Asori Tfeilali, my place is nullified to me, the place is batul to Hashem, but still, where did it manifest in a revealed way that it could be seen and measured physically? Wasn't the Malkim Ha'aron, wasn't the Beis Hamikdash. But even though this revelation was primarily the Beis Hamikdash, still in all, Beis Hamikdash nimshach acharkach b'chol olam kula. From the Beis Hamikdash, this comes out and is drawn out and expands into the entire world. That there should be a home for the Eibishter down here below. Because even though we established the Beis Hamikdash as a home, that it's the Bayis Hazeh, the house of the Beis Hamikdash, is the place where Hashem resides. But along with that, we didn't limit ourselves to the Beis Hamikdash. The purpose is Basi Lagani, that Hashem wants to have a home. Where does He want to have a home? Not just in the Beis Hamikdash, but in the entire world. So the Beis Hamikdash is the means for this Makom that's bottled to Hashem and able to manifest Hashem should come into the entire world. And we see this actually already in other things or at other times where this nature of the Beis Hamikdash didn't just remain in the Beis Hamikdash, but it came out of the Beis Hamikdash as well. Look at the Torah, let's explain. Look at the Torah, line 10. When the Yidden went up for the pilgrimage festivals, they went up in Pesach, they went Shavuos, they went Sukkot. Lokhu imam es kol hagiluyim shebeis hamikdash al kol hashana kula. They took along with them all the revelations of the Beis Hamikdash al kol hashana kula for the entire year. Everything that they experienced, every revelation that was there in the Beis Hamikdash, they weren't just meant to experience it there, but actually they were transporting it and transmitting it. When they went home, they took it home with them, and they brought it home with them further. Until the following time, until the next Yom Tov that they had to go to the Beis Hamikdash. And in what way did it express itself? That the entire year there should be the idea of bowing down, just like it was in the Beis Hamikdash, meaning the bittul of the Beis Hamikdash, the bowing down that the Yidden bowed down to the Beis Hamikdash, was an expression of their bittul. So that bittul that they experienced in the Beis Hamikdash, excuse me, that bittul and that experience of Ishtachava, they took home with them, and that lasted them for a duration from whichever Yom Tov they were at till the following time that they would be Oile Regel. And what was the purpose of that? Through that, the Yidden affected and the entire world. Inyan HaBittul Beis Hamikdash should be the bittul as was in the Beis Hamikdash. Last is dirle is baruch b'tachtonim, to make a home for the Eibusher down here below. So here we answered in a general way. How is it possible, or more than a general way, how is it possible that the infinite of the Eibusher should come down in the finite, limited area of the Beis Hamikdash? And we explained because the Makim in the Beis Hamikdash is bottled to the Eibusher. And we also explained that this is something that manifests and spreads out also in the rest of the world, though it's true in and of itself, but it's not revealed. That revelation through the Yidden being Oile Regel, that now expands in the entire world to have that manifestation. So now it's understood essentially how the Hashem can come down into the Beis Hamikdash. But part of what Shlomo HaMelech's question was, is that how could it be that the heavens and the heavens of heavens cannot contain you, but in this physical world it could contain you? So this only explained how the physical world is not contradictory to Hashem's existence or Hashem's revelation, because Asari Tfeilili, because my place is bottled to me, Makim Iti. He is the place of the world, not the other way around. So that's why the Beis Hamikdash can contain him and the world can have him, etc. But it doesn't explain why is this world better than the heavens, which is Atzilus, and the heavens of heavens, which is the Ein Sof, which is higher than Atzilus. If you're looking for bittul, well, good. You explained that there is bittul in the Beis Hamikdash, but isn't there bittul also in Atzilus? Isn't there bittul in the Oilmas Ein Sof that's higher than Atzilus? So that part of the question is still left hanging, and that's what he's going to address in the next ois. Line 18, ois vav. We still need to understand what are you telling me, that we have the bittul down here in the earth, and that's why Hashem can reside in the Beis Hamikdash, but in the heavens and heavens of heavens, the world of Atzilus and the world of the Ein Sof that are higher than the world of Atzilus also has bittul. To such a degree that is there bittul in the world of Atzilus, that Atzilus is called the world of unity, meaning it's one with Hashem. What's the reason that specifically this home, the physical Beis Hamikdash down here, is a home for the Eibusher? We only explained how it's possible to be here, but we didn't explain why is it better down here than Shemayim Shmei Shemayim. So the Rebbe explains in line 23, Achabir B'zehum, but the explanation this is Al Pi HaMashal Mitzipra Medabers, that according to the analogy of a talking bird, a parrot. Chassidus goes into this mashal a lot more at length that he speaks about over here, that a person that is looking to find favor with a king, and he's looking to ask and have his requests granted by the king, so he brings the king a talking bird. So, what's the big deal? A person talks better. Though the speech of a bird is completely incomparable to the speech of a human being. Still in all, only and specifically when you hear the bird talk, when you hear the parrot talk, that creates a joy, that creates a delight by any human being that sees it, and by the king that he's trying to impress and to get him to grant his request. And why is it such a big deal? Because of the novelty that something that is not human, something that's only in the animal kingdom, could speak. So therefore, based on this, we understand now, this is the first explanation of why the Eibishter resides down here. Because to have bittul in Olam Atzilus and in the worlds that are higher than Atzilus, that's nothing novel, that's nothing unique. And therefore, this doesn't attract the Eibishter, if you will. Just like if an ordinary person talks, it's not significant to the king. But when you have this world, that the world itself is a state that's not bottle, and despite that it is bottle, so that is something that like attracts the king, that excites the king, that gives joy and delight to the king. So that's why Hashem makes a dira down here below. That's one explanation of the advantage of the bittul in the Beis Hamikdash over the bittul in Atzilus and in the Ein Sof, in the Olam Ein Sof. Now that's a very short point, but the main point is going to be that really in truth, if we drill down to it, there is a component, an aspect of the bittul that is much greater in the world down here than the worlds of the Ein Sof. Even though the actual amount of bittul would most probably be more. He says in line 27, another idea behind this is the primary bittul is specifically in this world. Even more so than the higher worlds. Now, this doesn't mean that they don't have a powerful bittul, and in certain degrees it isn't greater than our world. But rather, like in other places, the Rebbe explains the great advantage of bittul hayesh over bittul mitzias, not just because it's, like we said before, it's unique, it's a chiddush, it's like this talking bird, but because of its truly, at its core, setting oneself aside. Let's explain it. Valderach HaHefresh, similar to the difference between bittul chacham katan gabe chacham gadol, between the bittul of a small sage to a great sage, top of page Tesvav, lebittul shel ish pashut legabe chacham gadol, to the bittul of a simple person, an unlearned person, to a great sage. These are two different types of bittul. Shechacham katan yesh lo yediyah va'akara b'mayla sichle shel chacham hagadol. Someone that's a small sage, he understands, he uses his intellect. Therefore, being that he's smart, being that he's a man of intellect, therefore he recognizes, he has a knowledge of, he has an awareness in how great the intellect is of the great sage. Therefore, the bittul of the smaller sage is a bittul that originates from his intellect. His intellect shows him, you appreciate intellect, and this sage has an amazing mind, and that evokes by him a bittul. And the Rebbe gives an example from a physical flame. This is similar to the sublimation of a candle flame in comparison to a torch or a great burning logs and so on. Until it becomes consumed and sublimated within the flame and within the torch. It's not it's not true bittul, because it's dependent upon his relationship to something greater. Because if you remove that great flame, you take it away from the small flame of the candle, the candle will remain in its own existence. Same thing, the bittul of the small sage in comparison to this great sage, that the bittul only like manifests itself and is expressed because of and in regards to and in the presence of the great sage. But if he is somewhere completely far away from the great sage. He's a big fish in a small pond. There's no great sage to like minimize who he is, so then his ego is still there. Because his ego his yeshus was only diminished in comparison to his recognition of the greatness of the great sage. Masha enkein bittel ish pashul gabe chacham gadol, as opposed to the sublimation and the bittel of an unlearned person in comparison to a great sage. Raise a bittel betachlis, it's a total bittel b'metzias. His entire being is bottle, because it's not a result of his understanding and his mind leading him along that path of bittel. It's about the person's complete loss of self. Because he's now in the presence of the Chacham, it's not he's coming to the Chacham. I appreciate, because I'm a Chacham in my own right, so I appreciate what wisdom is. It's just the opposite. He loses himself. He falls entirely apart in the presence of this great Chacham. It's not about my recognition. Therefore, the bittul is not just a bittul of externalities, but it's the entire existence is thoroughly permeated with bittul. In this same mashal, the Rebbe is going to apply to the difference between the bittul in this world versus the bittul of Atzilus and higher than Atzilus. Line 10. That's also the advantage of the bittul of this world. Bittul betachlis. The bittul is a total bittul, because it's not because we appreciate Hashem. It's not like the Ein Sof or the words of Atzilus that they appreciate how great the Eibishter is. So the bittul is derived from them, but the bittul over here is just complete nothingness. That's the bittul in our world. Another point, completely unrelated to what we said before, a third idea, in addition to the idea of Tzipar Mdaberes, the parrot, in addition to the idea that the bittul is a more complete bittul in this world. So he says in line 11, has another additional quality and advantage in the bittul in this world, according to what's explained in Tanya, in the Geras HaKodesh. The famous Geras HaKodesh, Siman Chav, Epistle 20, the coming into being of the physical yesh, is only and specifically in the power of Hashem's essence. That he himself, by his own, is only in his power and capability can the Eibishter create a yesh from something that's completely nothing. And not only can he create a yesh that's something that's coming from nothing, but in such a manner that the yesh should feel that he has no prior cause preceding him. Similar to Hashem's essence, that his very being comes to himself, and there's no other prior. He's not coming from any prior cause, chas v'sholem. So, where can such a feeling come from in the yesh? Only from some other existence that has it. Everything else between Atzmus and the yesh doesn't have that. Everything else between Atzmus and the yesh knows and is aware. Ein Sof knows it comes from Hashem. The Atzilus knows it comes from the Ein Sof. Bria knows that it comes from Atzilus, and so on. It's only the yesh that is under the impression that it has no source, and that feeling of no source can only come from the thing that truly has no source, which is Hashem's essence. So he says in line 18, since the coming into being of the created yesh is from the true yesh, so as a result of that, since the existence of the yesh comes from Hashem's essence, so when bittul comes out, it's not there naturally, but when the bittul does come about, so then the bittul comes out in and to the true yesh. And when the bittul is to the true yesh of Hashem's essence is such a type of bittul that completely sublimates in its entirety everything. Until he becomes totally nullified. He ceases being a created yesh. V'nasi yesh hamiti becomes the true yesh, like it's explained in the Biurei HaZoyar of the, I believe this is the maybe it's the Middle Rebbe's Biurei HaZoyar on Parshas B'Shalach. Shezehu tachlis habittul. This is the ultimate bittul. V'hu hakarev karev b'yoyser she'ein l'mayla mezeh. That is the ultimate type of closeness. What we began in the beginning of this mimer, and we said, the closer one is to Hashem, the more one feels humble. That's what Yaakov Avinu said, Katoimti mikol hachasadim mikol ha'emes, that because of the chesed of Hashem, he felt how close he was to Hashem. Therefore, in the similar vein over here, in this physical world, where the Yesh HaNivra is experiencing and has the connection with the Yesh HaAmiti, with Hashem's very essence, more so than Atzilus has the connection, more so than the Olam Ein Sof, because their being is not something that's dependent upon Hashem's essence, whereas our being a Yesh, our being a Metzias that seems independent, can only come from a being that's truly independent. So therefore, we become completely identified with the Yesh HaAmiti. And because we're completely identified with the Yesh HaAmiti, with the true Yesh, with Hashem's very essence, we are the closest thing possible within the entire existence that Hashem made. Even Atzilus, even Ein Sof, we are the closest thing to Hashem's essence. So since we're the closest thing to Hashem's essence, that there's nothing possible to be closer, so therefore, the bittul that we have, as we said, the closer one is, the more bittul. Therefore, our bittul is even greater than the bittul of Atzilus, even greater than the bittul of Olam Ein Sof. And that's why the Atzmus is not in all those levels just here. That's the reason, line 25. That the revelation of Hashem's essence is specifically in this home, in this world, that becomes a home for the Eibishter. Hashem does not make a home in the heavens of heavens, because their bittul is not as strong as the bittul of the Yesh HaNivra, because the Yesh HaNivra and the Yesh HaAmiti are much closer than the bittul of all these other worlds, and then all these other worlds, not the bittul, then all the other worlds are close to Hashem, and the closer that we are, as we established at the beginning of the Maimer, the greater the bittul is.